So what comes to your mind when you think about PRS guitars? I know, quality. But what if I was to tell you, and I'm telling this to you very seriously, there are not one, but there are two significant quality issues, quality concerns with PRS guitars. And I'm going to tell you all about it. So folks, welcome back to the Ministry of Guitar. I'm Utkarsh. If you like what's going on in this channel, please do like, subscribe, share. It really helps encourage me to continue to do this. Now on to the topic on hand. Some disclaimers, but actually it's not really a disclaimer. It's probably more of credentialing, so to speak. I own about 50 PRS guitars, 50, across SC, Core, private stock, CE, name it. I would like to think that I have a fair amount of experience with them, and I also really like them. So it might be surprising to you that I'm making a video about the problem with PRS, the quality issues with PRS. There are 2-3 reasons I'm making it. One is they are there, and they are not what you think, but I will tell you what they are. This is certainly not clickbait. These are two very real quality issues. And the reason I'm putting these out there is I'm getting a little bit irritated of dishonest sellers. So the thing is, when you know a market, when you can see what a seller is saying, if you know what they're saying is wrong, you notice it. If I didn't know better, I wouldn't know that there's a dishonest seller. And on both of these aspects, I have seen more than my fair share of dishonest sellers out there, whether it be locally, where I'm staying, or whether it be on Reverb. So that's why I'm going to get into these two issues. Both the issues are nothing to do with the playing, nothing to do with the setup, nothing to do with the fretwork, nothing to do with the guitar as an instrument. PRS, whether it be in PRS SE or it be in private stock, they make possibly the best playing instrument, best intonating, best functioning instrument that you can get for the price point. And in the case of PRS Core and PRS private stock, the best you can get, period. So the issue here is nothing to do with playing. It's nothing to do with them being an instrument. Ironically, it's to do with PRS's USP. It is the appearance. And the two issues at hand are, number one, clouding, hazing of the finish. I'm going to get into what this means in a second. Those of you who are very familiar with PRS know what I'm talking about already. And number two, and I know that those of you who are familiar with PRS know this already, fading of PRS blues, blue stains to be specific. Let's get into each of these. So I want to tell you about PRS's constant quest to make the guitars as beautiful, as functional as possible. And this consequently means that they keep sometimes experimenting with certain different aspects of the process of their finish. And sometime in the late 90s, there is something that they did. I've talked to a few people. I don't know what part of it is true, so take this with a grain of salt. What I've heard is that they experimented with a new supplier or a new formula for the clear coat. And what happened because of this new clear coat, whether it was a new supplier or not, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I've heard colloquially. Regardless, what is for sure is that between, say, the late 90s, this is 1998, so you can use this as a starting point, till about 2014, 2015, I actually have a 2015 guitar with the same issue. Moisture started getting trapped between the wood and the clear coat. Not on all guitars, but on some guitars. And what happened because of that is you had this effect called clouding, where you get this kind of a cloudy, milky kind of a finish. I don't know if you can really see it very well, and I'm going to talk about this because this is one of the reasons why you have many dishonest sellers, because you can't really see it in photographs on the camera. But basically, the guitar starts getting these white, opaque stains that start hiding the beautiful figured wood. This is a major pain. I made a big video on this which talks about how it happens, how you can prevent it, how you can reduce it, how you can maintain it. I won't get into that here. But this is a big thing. So often, especially for PRs from the 2000s, you will find them with this clouding. You will find it more in countries that have, or locations that have more of a humid climate. So Singapore is a great example. You have plenty of them here. Without getting into too many details, a solution is to store them immaculately to make sure they are not exposed to any dampness or humidity, or not excessive dampness or humidity. But it's a real thing to know. It's a real quality issue. I mean, if I bought a guitar and suddenly it started clouding, or hazing, I would be pissed off. Now, for me, all of the PRSs that I have that are cloudy, I have bought them already cloudy. So they have kind of had that factored in. I've kind of factored that into my purchase decision. And as I said, it's a purely aesthetic thing. It doesn't affect the playability at all. In fact, one of my guitars, it's so clouded over that I call it ghost, and the cloudiness is part of its charm now. But nonetheless, this is something that you should look out for. This doesn't happen to new PRSs, so I think anything post 2015, you're going to be fine. But if you're buying a PRS between 98 and 2015, be aware of this. It doesn't happen to all of them, but when you're buying, keep a lookout for it. And if you find it, please ask for that to be accorded into the pricing. And if you're a seller, please do declare it. It's okay. Take a 10-20% hit on the price. Just be honest. Don't kind of hide it, because sometimes I show you this guitar right now, you have no clue it has clouding. But if you see in my video, it definitely has clouding. So don't hide it. Just reveal it. So something to be aware of. Now, should you buy a guitar, a PRS that is clouded? You should absolutely buy one. It doesn't affect the playability, and it may get you a better price. And if you store it correctly, it's not going to get more clouded. I know many people will disagree with me on the last point that it won't get more clouded. I can only speak from my experience of owning 10 or 11 guitars that have clouding that have stayed exactly where they are in the many years that I've owned them. So that's me. Feel free to disagree. I'm just sharing with my anecdotal experience. So that's number one, clouding. Then now we'll get to number two. If you ask me, the most beautiful color that exists in guitar making history, it's not cherry sunburst. It's Northern Lights. This is a legendary PRS private stock color. I kind of think of it as the cherry blossom color. Not because it looks like the cherry blossom, but it is quite fleeting like the cherry blossom. But let me explain. PRS uses organic dyes for all their colors, and the nature of the blue organic dye is that it is photosensitive. What that means is, and the reason let me just get before that, the reason they use organic dyes is because they want to really accentuate the maple, the grain, and let's admit it, no one does a better job than PRS at this. For all of you who are going to cite 25,000 brands that you've seen on Instagram, custom guitarists that you've seen making things, what you see on Instagram and what you see in real life for the wood's grain and how the paint interacts with the wood is completely different. On Instagram, you can filter the hell out of it. It can look great. You need to look at it in real life. And I've seen plenty of PRS. I've seen plenty of custom guitars from many makers. Mayonnaise is one example, but I've seen plenty of custom guitars as well. Nothing compares, in my opinion. Gibson, not even close. Anyway, so the point is, to get this beauty out of the wood, they use organic dyes, and the blue color is photosensitive. What that means is any PRS color that has blue in it, whether it be green, I'm going to come to this guitar in a second, whether it be purple, whether it just be blue, it's going to ultimately lose that blue color if you keep it outside. So a Modern Eagle one is a great example. All the blue ones have practically faded to this kind of a greenish, almost like it's kind of amber, it's kind of green, difficult to describe, very beautiful colors. But coming back to Northern Lights is this purple blue, it's just magnificence, and that thing fades. And it's well documented on the PRS forum. You can see before and after. I'm going to show you a few of them. And it basically, when it's new, when it's out there, it's like purple and blue and beautiful. Ultimately, it just becomes violet. Not to say that violet is not beautiful, but of course, it's not as stunning as Northern Lights. Again, imagine buying a new guitar and then it fades away. I know this is what happened with the Les Paul, 1959 Les Paul. But nonetheless, I can imagine that this could be, and this is actually a quality issue, so to speak. That I think if you buy a beautiful color, if you buy a car in a beautiful color, you don't want the car's color to fade. So such is the case. That said, I don't think there's anything you can do about it. It is the nature of the substance. Would I rather that they don't use something to make it as beautiful? No, I would rather that I just store it better. This guitar is another good example. This guitar may look kind of brownish, whatever the color is. This is the color it used to be. So you can see this. This is the front of the guitar. I bought this from Japan. I got it at a great price because it was faded. So the front you can see is now this brownish color, but this is the color even the front was. It was green. You can see a little bit, excuse me, of how the maple was. But here, even on this one, as it has been hanging in my room, you can see parts of the neck have faded. So you can see sometimes it's, some places it's green, some places it's brownish. By the way, the effect on this, again, something you need to see. By the way, you can also see the green over here underneath the tremolo. The effect on this is that there are still traces of green in this brown hidden underneath the flame. So it is just, I don't think you could make this finish if you wanted to, because how do you just make the stain go only under the flame but not on top of the flame? So I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that it fades. I think they fade into some incredible looking guitars, but it is definitely a quality issue because the original color is fading away. So something to again know about if you're buying a blue PRS, a stained blue PRS, purple PRS or green PRS, high chance and certain colors. Northern Lights, faded Veil blue will become even more faded. Denim blue will become even more denim. Purple or violet, definitely. My purple and violet guitars stay inside their cases. And of course, something like peacock green, like this guitar was. So those colors, and aqua violet, which is like Northern Lights, but kind of just reversed. Those colors will fade. So if you're buying a PRS, a private stock, or a regular one, just be aware of this. This is the other thing to watch out for. So there you have it. Those are the two quality issues with PRS. Are they really issues? I think the clouding one definitely is. It actually kind of can spoil the look of your guitar, but then if you're already buying it with it, it's no big deal. In my opinion, I have, as I said, 10 or 11, which have a bit of clouding. And the fading, the blue, Northern Lights, aqua violet fading. Again, I just take, personally, you could call me that I'm apologizing for PRS, but I'm just telling you my approach. The guitars are so beautiful, they're so amazing, doesn't stop me from buying them. I just store them better. This one is great because it's already faded, so I don't have to worry about storing it. So this one is always hanging outside. But the others, the purple ones, they stay inside their cases. Anyways, my expensive guitars stay inside their cases, so I don't really think it's a big problem for me. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Till next time.